Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn, and today I am going to use some die cuts to do, I guess, a little bit of faux embossing. So on the Strawberry Cottage die set from the Cottage Cuts latest release, there's a kind of a grouping of three leaves that are conveniently pretty close to each other. So what I've done is chosen that as my embossing pattern, I guess. And I did have some scrap cardstock that already had a little bit of double-sided tape on the back of it, so I used some of that. If you want to completely or exclusively use cardstock that you've lined with double-sided adhesive tape, that will definitely make this process, I think, a little bit faster. I didn't do that, so I'm having to use some liquid glue to attach or adhere all of these little leaves. I did die cut quite a lot, and one of the things that I did was I kept all of the partial cuts. So these here that have like a little bit of a straight edge, and I'm going to put those on the borders or the sides of my card base. That way it looks like the emboss pattern is actually running, straight off of the edges of the card. And when I did my die cutting, I stacked 2 layers of 60-pound white cardstock. The effect of that is that the layer of white cardstock that is closest to the die has more detail in it, and the bottom layer will still cut through completely just fine because these dies are fantastic, but it just has a little bit less detail, because in this leaf pattern here you can actually see the veins of the leaf. And on that top layer, it when I double up on my cardstock, it does cut through rather than just emboss through. But I'm okay with that. That's totally fine. But the effect is that I get some nice variation. So I like that impression. And so what I did was I took some scrap 120-pound cardstock and I die cut some leaves from that as well. The cumulative effect of that is that now I have basically 3 somewhat different leaf patterns and different thicknesses as well. So this is almost it's almost a faux 3D embossing, because you have some leaves that are more raised, the ones that are cut from 120-pound, some leaves that appear more raised just because they have more detail cut through them, and that's the top layer of the 60-pound paper that I doubled up on when I did my die cutting. And then you have some that are they appear like they're flatter. They're not, but they just appear that way because they just have a little bit less detail embossed into them. And that's the bottom layer of the 60-pound paper that I doubled up on when I did my die cutting. So so you can see there's some subtle variation there, which I think is actually kind of nice. And I'm really glad that I cut way more than I needed, because I'd hate to do all of this and then have to pause to do some more die cutting. So I always prefer to die cut more than I need. That way I don't have to stop in my card assembly and the actual creation of my card to do more die cutting. So with my faux embossed panel complete, I am going to start to assemble the rest of my card. I have a loose idea of what I want to do, but I am trying to keep this on the more clean and simple side. My the top of my strawberry here didn't emboss full or didn't die cut fully, so I'm just gonna die cut another version of that. My strawberry didn't die cut fully either. You can see there's that sharp angle, but that's okay because I knew that part of my plan was going to be to run this strawberry off the edge of the card. So I knew I was going to trim off a portion of it anyhow. Then this collection from Cottage Cuts it's so fun because so it's strawberries and bees, and if you look at the various strawberry die sets, you'll see that all of them have some individual strawberries in them. But what may not be as obvious is that they're all different sizes. And so it's really actually quite fun to, when you have multiples in this collection, to just kind of find the strawberries that are the size that you want. So I'm actually using some of the strawberries from the berry phrases. And there are 2 strawberries, but they are slightly different in size. There's one that's a little bit smaller than the other. And similarly, the green tops of those strawberries do coordinate. And I realized that I didn't have a small one to match with the small strawberry. And then on the berry phrases die set, there are several different words. Some of the words actually die cut as individual letters, like the word so. I have the O right hanging out in the middle of the card there. And I was thinking that my sentiment would be so berry sweet, but ultimately in the end, I just decided to keep it to berry sweet. And I wanted to make sure that the word berry had like a really nice strong adhesion to the card, so I decided to just add this little bit of scrap white cardstock so that one, it's more legible, so because it's solid white behind there, but it's still going to keep the card overall looking very clean and simple because it's white onto the white of the cardstock or the card base. And it's going to provide a really nice flat surface excuse me, for me to adhere the word berry onto. So it's serving a lot of different functions. But I think it was important to have that and not just adhere it straight to that faux embossed panel. So now I'll go ahead and cut off the edge. I did give myself a little pencil mark so that I got the angle that I wanted, and I'm going to attach this I'm going to actually just start to assemble my entire card now. So I'll put this strip down first just so that I have that in place while I compose the rest of the card. And I love how large this strawberry is. I think it's just a lot of fun. Now there are a lot of different die cuts in this strawberry cottage set that let you turn the strawberry into an actual a little cottage with doors and windows and everything. And I'll do that in a separate video, but I did lose a little bit of footage there, but all I did was just attach some of the smaller strawberries to kind of fill out this grouping, and I'm going to add some of these accent swirls that do come in the strawberry cottage set, and so this is just going to be, an extra large strawberry with some other smaller strawberries in this nice little cluster. And that's basically it for my card. Nice and simple, but I love that sort of faux embossed technique of having the leaves in the back. It's really subtle, the white on white, but I do think having the different thicknesses of cardstock and having the doubled up cardstock gives it some different variation and a different look that makes it a little bit more interesting. Thanks for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like, comment, and share. And if you want to catch new videos as I post them, consider subscribing to my channel and ringing the notification bell. Thanks so much. Until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.